Welcome to the motherfucking lady. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. It was sent to me. It's the only reason I'm addressing it. I don't normally spend much time on things that Curtis Scoon...
That fucking moron.
I don't spend much time on it. Not normally. A lot of people don't. But Curtis Scoon recently took aim at Bam Hadribeaj. For some reason, I'm not sure.
I think it's because he's a bigot.
He said Bam is in an irrelevant division. Why is it irrelevant? Because it doesn't grow the sport. There are quality fighters in every division, but if they don't bring consumers, they don't matter.
Are you a consumer? What boxing matches do you buy? What subscriptions do you have? Because if you don't have any, then you don't matter, Curtis, by your logic.
Curtis continued, can Bam headline a pay-per-view card? No. Why are some people adamant about disparaging fighters that keep the sport alive to promote fighters who can't?
Wait, so you're advocating for more pay-per-views? Is that it?
I think Canelo is trash, but he's also good for boxing for the reasons I mentioned. If the sport is going to survive, it only happens with fighters the fans appreciate.
Fans appreciate Bam Hadribeaj. I see plenty of people that like that guy, and there were plenty of people in attendance for his last fight.
Usyk is stepping down because the belts don't matter. If the person wearing them doesn't matter, the heavyweight division currently doesn't matter, and that's the sport.
Oh, that's bullshit. Usyk is stepping down because he's, 38, going on 39 years old, and he's already been undisputed 3 times. What else is there left for the man to do?
That's why he retired. The fuck's wrong with him?
Curtis continued, I love rattling the boxing bigots. It's so easy. The sport means so much to them because their real life is so mundane.
As opposed to yours, Curtis? Are we supposed to believe your life is moving a mile a minute while you're chronically online fishing for reactions at 50 or 55 years old? Because this guy's older than me. Still trying to generate 2 nickels to rub together with this rage bait.
Boxing bigots? I don't get it. Is he saying that Bam Hadribeaj's fans are bigots?
When did this fucking idiot start using the word bigot? I'd wager that he secretly watches this channel, because not everybody in boxing has the lexicon that I have.
I'll watch him start using lexicon in his vocabulary.
It's true. When referring to prejudiced behaviors online, you typically see people refer to racism, as it is a subsect of a prejudice. It's a prejudice on the premise of race, where bigotry is a more general term that encompasses a broader spectrum of discrimination, not exclusive to race.
And I'm pretty sure this fucking idiot doesn't know that. He just heard somebody else say it, so he started saying it.
Curtis Scoon has never said anything intelligible in his life, and he's not about to start now. He continued, to fix boxing, we've got to get rid of all the top-ranked sycophants.
Why? Top Rank actually has a broadcast deal. They actually do a regular schedule of fights. Why would we want to get rid of them and the people that watch them? Isn't that the opposite of growing boxing?
All of this rage bait. All of this time squandered to only get this minuscule amount of engagement. 10 to 15 likes, 5 to 8 comments.
I'm just saying, for what he's paying Elon Musk to have that blue tick, this minuscule amount of engagement isn't going to cover the cost of that subscription.
It's an attempt at rage bait, though not a very good one, saying Tank Davis is top 3 pound for pound, better than any Euro bum on the list, and better than Inoue and Bam. Deal with it, don't at me.
Don't worry, it doesn't seem most people did.
Don't flatter yourself either. Nobody cares that much about Tank, not even people in the United States. The reality of it is, every pound-for-pound list that's out there, whether it's Ring Magazines or ESPN's or BoxRec or mine.
Tank isn't on there.
Rage bait about it all you like on your dry Twitter page. Nobody has Tank in the top 3.
You're only tweeting about it because you wish they did. You're angry that they don't. That they rate so many other fighters than what you view as the poster child for you and your people. That fucking scrub, that coward, that bum like you.
Because you're a fucking bum, Curtis, and an idiot. And I'm only addressing this because it was sent to me. I don't normally spend much time on things that Curtis Scoon says. I don't think anybody does, really.
This guy loves talking about what's relevant and irrelevant. You know this guy made a movie?
Now ask me how many people watched it. He actually had the gall to say that the heavyweight division is irrelevant, likely because there are no prominent American heavyweights to speak of. Believe it or not, the heavyweight division is booming. Business is very good. How do I know?
Netflix, the biggest streaming platform in the industry, paid to have not one, but 2 heavyweights on their platform. The problem for Curtis is they weren't American. They were 2 Brits in Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury.
Guys you like to call Euro bums. Hey, didn't Tyson Fury beat your guy, Deontay Wilder?
Did you forget already?
He claims that the only fighters that are good for boxing are the fighters that the fans gravitate towards, but more fans gravitate towards Anthony, and more fans gravitate towards Tyson than any fans gravitate towards Gervonta, and those fighters, unlike Gervonta, are actually active, are actually fighting. What the fuck has he been doing, besides beating up on his girlfriend?
Getting arrested for it.
Really? Think about it in contrast with what Curtis is saying. 2 British heavyweights have boxed on Netflix. The streaming giant. How many times has Gervonta boxed on there?
0.
But he's supposed to be the relevant one? Top 3 pound for pound according to Curtis Scoon, who needs to take medication with a spoon?
Huh?
Talking about boxing bigots and Bam Rodriguez, near as I can tell, the only bigot here is you, as you discriminate on people on the premise of not just race, but ethnicity and region.
In the case of boxing, based on divisions, which divisions you do and don't watch.
Because you're the bigot, projecting your character flaws on the rest of the world that you're angry at.
Sucks to be you.
Sucks to suck. You harbor so much hatred, so much resentment towards so many people you simultaneously want the approval of, because why else would you be complaining about Gervonta Davis?
Said Gervonta Davis is top 3? On whose pound for pound list?
Nobody's, because nobody's got him there except Curtis, and that's what he's mad about.
This poor man's Tariq Nasheed.
You're supposed to be Curtis. Dr. Umar for boxing?
Boxing in America, among your people, is not a big enough sport to achieve the following that Dr. Umar has achieved, spouting his nonsense, so that most of yours falls on deaf ears.
Boxing bigots, and what the fuck are you, a freedom fighter?
Is that what you were supposed to be, Curtis?
This is too easy, and I've already spent more time on this idiot than he actually deserves. Though once again, this was sent to me, and if you wanted my reaction, that's my reaction. This guy's sitting here talking about what's relevant and what's irrelevant when he's irrelevant. Men's junior middleweight news. To no one's surprise, Sebastian Fundora will face Ermal Hadribeaj in fall.
Is that how you say that?
That's how I said it. Sebastian Fundora's longtime promoter, Samson Lukowicz, says the WBC junior middleweight champion's next fight will be against his number 1 mandatory contender, Ermal Hadribeaj, or something. And any potential unification fight against Jaron Boots Ennis would happen in 2027 at the soonest, if it did.
Which it won't.
Sebastian Fundora will comply with the World Boxing Council and face his number 1 mandatory next, said Lukowicz. A fight with Ennis could happen, but sometime next year.
The World Boxing Council hasn't ordered him to fight anybody. And why would this Ermal guy be the mandatory when Virgil's been interim for 2 years?
Lukowicz says Coachella, California's Fundora will face Albania's Hadribeaj, 23-0 with 1 draw and 8 knockouts, in the fall of this year. What I think is going on here is that while the World Boxing Council has not ordered Sebastian to fight anyone, they're going to petition them to qualify Ermal as his mandatory obligation, as his mandatory challenger, because you can do that. You can do it voluntarily, and all you need is the approval of the World Boxing Council.
To turn a stumble-bum voluntary defense into a mandatory challenger, especially since Virgil Ortiz, the interim champion, isn't pushing for a title shot. He's not petitioning the WBC. He's not pressuring Sebastian.
He doesn't seem all that interested in fighting for a title at what is his second weight. So that leaves the door open for Sebastian Fundora to pull these shenanigans.
Who's gonna stop him? The World Boxing Council?
Now, why weren't the World Boxing Council all on their own, as Johnny on the spot with this mandate as they were with others? When David Benavidez was the interim champion at light heavyweight, they ordered the fight between him and Dmitry Bivol.
Well, it's because they petitioned for the fight.
And even at cruiserweight, this guy's got 2 separate alphabet titles with 2 different alphabet organizations, yet the World Boxing Council still ordered their champion, Noel Mikhailian, to fight David.
Well, it's because they petitioned for the fight.
The Benavidezes petitioned for the Noel Mikhailian fight, whereas Virgil Ortiz and his team, if you even want to call them that, they haven't petitioned to do anything. So Sebastian is going to fight in a glorified tune-up fight, as is Virgil Ortiz, when by all rights, they should be fighting each other. And this is how the people in the industry hurt boxing.
I knew the story about Boots was too good to be true. When I did my video yesterday, you would have heard me say more than once, I'm skeptical as to whether or not this fight is really going to happen.
Now we know that it's not going to. I mean, how could Sebastian Fundora, who already ducked Xander Zayas, now turn around and fight the man that beat him? It's just not in keeping with what you see from Samson Lukawicz's fighters. They never fight the best.
Sebastian doesn't, David doesn't. They get very creative, and in some instances, the World Boxing Council helps them.
I ain't the only one that noticed. My old drill sergeant, Joe Habib, reacted to this news by saying, of course the fight isn't next. Why would a Lukawicz-managed fighter ever fight the best in the division? It goes against their playbook. Fundora will most likely vacate his title and move up to middleweight next year. This fight never happens, in my opinion.
Move up the middleweight and fight who?
Jesus Ramos would have to be my guess. Currently, the reigning WBC champion Carlos Adames is in the process of negotiating a move upstairs to 168 to face IBF champion of Cuba, Ozelis Iglesias. If that fight gets made and he moves up, Jesus Ramos might be elevated to full champion in his place, at which point Sebastian will then move up and challenge him for the title in what is not as big a fight as either a Virgil Ortiz fight or a Boots Ennis fight.
He doesn't want big fights?
Not more than he wants safe ones. I don't really view Sebastian Fundora as a prize fighter because he doesn't behave like a prize fighter. To a prize fighter, the focus is the prize and the size of it, whereas all he cares about is playing it safe.
He's not a prize fighter. I don't really know what the fuck he is, because we know he's not a legacy guy. He already said he doesn't care about Undisputed, he doesn't care about unifying, he doesn't care about the other belts in the division.
He literally said that. He's happy with just the one, the WBC title.
He's not a legacy guy, but he's not a prize fighter either. He doesn't behave like one, because at minimum to the prize fighter, the prize matters a great deal, and you get a bigger, better prize boxing Virgil or boxing Boots than boxing this Albanian. So what the fuck are you doing?
Outside of playing it safe? Not a lot.
Of course, Samson Lukawicz and Team Fundora have their blame in all of this, and so does the World Boxing Council, but so does Virgil, so does Golden Boy.
Because you guys ain't pushing for that fight where you should be. You should be beating down Sebastian Fundora's door to either make him give you a fight or make him give you the belt. At minimum, Virgil could use those optics right now. And you guys ain't doing nothing.
And you know why, right?
Why?
I think it's because behind the scenes, the people at Golden Boy made a deal with Samson that they're not going to pressure him, and they're not going to make his fighter look bad. They're going to keep Virgil away from Sebastian. That if nobody on either side is trying to do this fight, it's because they made an agreement not to.
Now maybe Virgil himself, maybe he's willing to have that fight, but the people on his side aren't willing to make it because they made an agreement with Samson that they're gonna leave his guy alone.
Why would they do that?
Because they're buddy-buddy with Samson Lukawicz and they have a working relationship. Remember, they co-promote Sebastian's younger sister, Gabby Fundora, because Golden Boy doesn't want to risk their guy any more than Samson Lukawicz wants to risk his guy. So they made a mutual agreement to keep their boys away from each other.
And that way, they're not really doing right by their fighters. They're not doing their jobs, and neither is the World Boxing Council, because even if the two teams don't want to make the fight, you're supposed to be the middleman that brings them together, whether they want to or not.
It's just a bunch of people not doing what they're supposed to do. It's just a bunch of fucking people not doing their jobs. So it's no wonder that boxing gets stale and stagnates in the United States. You don't see this level of chicanery anywhere more than you see it here.
This is what American boxing has been reduced to.
I knew it was too good to be true. I knew to stay skeptical when news broke yesterday that supposedly Boots and Sebastian had entered negotiations.
My first instinct was that Boots' next fight would come against Josh Kelly in the fall. That if he's gonna unify with anybody, it's going to be Josh.
Sebastian has no history of taking on dangerous fights with dangerous fighters. Simpson has no history of making those kinds of fights. Look at the excuse that they're using, that Sebastian has to satisfy a mandatory. If you're so focused on satisfying mandatories, then why didn't you fight Xander when he was your mandatory?
Because Sebastian's a fucking coward.
I don't care if he's a professional boxer. I don't care if he fights for a living. You know what this is and you know what it looks like.
He's a fucking coward.
When Xander Zayas is your mandatory, you don't want to take care of your mandatory. But when some unknown Albanian club fighter is your mandatory, oh, that you're willing to do so that you can avoid Boots. Because that's all you do, is avoid the real fighters.
You're a fucking coward.
I think that's the language people need to start using when it comes to these guys. Because what are they doing if not behaving like cowards? I think they let them off the hook too easy. You waste all this time and make these fights that no one gives a fuck about, which is often highlighted by veteran boxing scribe Stephen Kimothy, that these people don't seem at all concerned with what the fans want. But if you don't care what the fans want, who's supposed to buy a ticket to these shows? Who's supposed to buy these pay-per-views? Who's supposed to care if they don't? What are you actually doing?
Do you think Samson Lukowicz has an answer?
By now, Sebastian Fundora is no squirrely amateur. He's no prospect. He's well past contender level. He's a world champion. But all they're doing with him is avoiding tough fights and putting him in ones nobody cares about. Nobody cared about Cordell Booker. Nobody cared about Keith Thurman. Nobody cares about this guy.
Nobody.
Samson is happy just scratching and sniffing, looking for safe fights wherever he can so he can make two coins to rub together.
That's what he's in the business of doing. Safe fights.
And if that's all you're gonna do, Sebastian, you may as well retire now, because you're clearly not going for the big brass ring. The big fights with the big prizes, the big money, the money you're making now doing what you're doing, it can't be much.
That's the only appeal of being a pugilist, is the opportunity to fight your way to the top so you can make life-altering money. And you're not making that fighting the Cordell Bookers and Keith Thurmans of the world in this next guy, so what's the point in even boxing? What's the point in doing it?
Go back to school, get a degree, pick up a trade, because for the nothing you're accomplishing in the sport, you may as well retire.
He did become a world champion.
Congratulations!
Awesome. Now get the fuck out of here. Let somebody else fight for these belts. Let somebody else hold them, because all you're doing is holding it hostage.
Holding up the division, holding up the sport of boxing, causing it to stagnate. These guys are bad for the industry, I'm trying to tell you.
It's not for lack of opportunity. There are so many opportunities to be out there in a big fight right now. So many ways to make money that it's not for lack of opportunity, it's for lack of trying.
It's not gonna happen, not for Sebastian, so here's what is. He's gonna fight this stumble bum in the fall, then maybe he moves up, fights Jesus Ramos for the WBC title up there, or he moves up and he fights an aging Erislandy Lara, but it won't be Boots, and it won't be Virgil.
Of that, I am sure of.